Good afternoon, everyone. In the previous class, we have solved some numerical question on IC engine performance parameters. Okay. So today we are going to see another question, another different type of question. Okay. So today, listen the question carefully. Okay. So the question is a six cylinder. So the question is a six-cylinder four-stroke SI engine of 10 into 12 centimeter. Okay, six-cylinder. First, number of cylinders are six. It is given the question. Means small k. Small k is given. Small k 6. Okay. Four-stroke means small n is equal to capital N by 2. Okay, four-stroke means small n is equal to capital N by 2. 10 into 12 centimeter. It is given dimensions of the cylinder are given. 10 into 12 means 10 is diameter. Okay, 10 is diameter. Diameter into length is given. 10 is diameter and 12 is tube length. Okay. With a compression ratio of 6 R, compression ratio R is given here. 6 at 4800 RPM. Capital N value of capital N is given here 4800. Okay. On a dynamometer or arm of this 5 centimeter. Okay, so here in the question it is saying that we are using a dynamometer to measure the brake power. Okay, brake power is measured by dynamometer. I have told you already in the previous classes that brake power, we can measure the brake power by using a dynamometer. From here we get the formula 2 pi nt by 60. Okay, so here in this question it is using a dynamometer to measure the brake power. The dynamometer arm, okay, the length of the arm of dynamometer is given here is RB. Small RB is given here. It is equal to 55 centimeter. Okay, 55 centimeter. During a 10-minute test, okay, the test duration is 10. So time given here 10 minutes. 10 minute test duration is for 10 minutes. Okay. The dynamometer reads 45 kg and engine consumes 5 kg. The dynamometer reads 45 kg. Okay. 45 kg means the reading of the diameter. That is the reading of the diameter. In the diameter, we use a rope to measure the reading. Okay. The force is measured by a weight. Okay. Actually, the diameter is circular shape diameter, and we use the rope. Okay. On the shaft, we use the rope, and this rope is hanged by a weight here. Okay. So this weight shows the force. How much force we are applying to stop the shaft. So this weight is given. This weight is given here. So with the help of this weight, we can calculate the force. Okay. This weight is 45 kg is given here. So how much force is there? 45 is given. So we can imply here force is equal to m into g. We can say here force is equal to m into g means 45 into value of g is 10. So we can say that force is 450 Newton. So here force is given 450 Newton. So from the weight we can calculate the force by using gravitational force as equal to mg equation. Okay. The calorific value is 45 megajoule. Okay, calorific value is given 45 megajoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, 45 megajoule we can convert it in kilojoule. Okay, so in kilojoule it will be 1 megajoule is equal to 10 to the power 3 kilojoule. So 45 megajoule means 45,000 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, 45,000 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. The carburetor receives the air at 28 degrees Celsius. Ambient conditions given here. The temperature of the air is 28 degrees Celsius. T is given 28 degrees Celsius. We can convert it into in Kelvin. So add 273, so we'll get 301 Kelvin. Okay. And 1 bar pressure is given here. 1 bar P is equal to 1 bar. So we can convert it accordingly later. At 10 kg per minute. Okay, rate of flow of air is given here. Means m dot a. M dot a is given here. M dot a is equal to 10 kg per minute. Okay, rate of flow of air is 10 kg per minute. Okay. Calculate brake power. First question is calculate brake power. Okay. Actually, this force is Fb. Okay, brake force. The torque developed in the dynamometer is known as braking torque. So the force related to that torque is known as braking force. Okay, which is known by Fb, and radius is Rb. Okay. So first question is, first we need to calculate here brake power Bp. Okay. See here. We are using a dynamometer. It is said in the question. We are using a dynamometer. So dynamometer brake power is equal to, we can say that 2 pi Np. Okay. 2 pi is small n. Now here small n is equal to n by 2. So we write 2 pi n by 2 into 60 into 1000 into t. Okay. And we can write here Bp is equal to 2 pi n, and value of t is equal to F into R. So here Fb and Rb is given, so Fb into Rb. Okay. Fb into Rb divided by 2 into 60 into 1000. Okay. Put all values here, so we get the brake power is equal to 2 into pi into, and value of n is given the question. Capital N is equal to 4800 RPM. Okay. Put here 4800 into Fb. What is the value of Fb? Fb is equal to 450 Newton. Okay. 450 into value of Rb is Rb. Now Rb is in centimeter, 55 centimeter. So we need to convert this centimeter into meter. So 55 centimeter is equal to 0.55 meter. Okay. So it will become 0.55 divided by 2 into 60 into 1000. We are dividing here by 1000, so we will get the power in kilowatt. Okay. So when you calculate this value, before value, you will get the answer equal to 124.4 kilowatt. 124.4 kilowatt. Okay. So this is the first question. So we get the, now we got the brake power here, which is equal to 124.4 kilo. Okay. Now the second question is asked about brake mean effective pressure, PBM, or BMEP. You can say BM. Okay. To calculate brake mean effective pressure, we know the relation between brake power and brake mean effective pressure. Brake power is equal to brake mean effective pressure into Vs. So if we calculate the value of Vs, stroke volume Vs, then we can easily calculate the value of brake mean effective pressure. Okay. So calculate the value of Vs. Vs equal to pi by 4 d square L into n by 2. Okay. Into 60. Because small n is equal to n by 2 into k. Okay. Put all the values here, so we get the value of Vs equal to pi by 4. What is the value of diameter? Diameter here is given 10 centimeter means 0.1 meter. 0.1 whole square into L. What is the value of L here? L is equal to 12 centimeter means 0.12 meter. Okay, 0.12 meter into value of N is 4800 RPM. Okay, put here 4800 into small k number of cylinders is 6 equal to 6 into 6 divided by 2 into 16. Okay, so we get the answer here. So we get the value of Vs equal to Vs will come equal to 0.226 meter cube per second. Okay, 0.226 meter cube per second. Okay, this is the value of Vs. Now we know the value of Vs and brake power we have already calculated. So we can easily calculate the value of brake mean effective pressure. Here the formula brake power is equal to brake mean effective pressure into Vs. So from here we can calculate brake mean effective pressure is equal to brake power divided by Vs. Put the value. Brake power is given equal to 124 kilowatt. 124.4 kilowatt divided by Vs 0.226. Okay, so we get the value of brake mean effective pressure. When you calculate this value, we'll get the answer equal to, it will come equal to 550.44. It will come to 550.44. 550.442. Now please note here that now brake power is in kilowatt. Okay, brake power is in kilowatt, so pressure will be also in kilopascal, not in pascal. Okay, because brake power is in kilowatt, so pressure will come in kilopascal. Okay, because here we are getting kilo, so here also we get in kilo value. Okay, now we can convert this kilopascal to bar. So we know 1 bar is equal to 10 to the power 2 kilopascal. So divide this value by 10 to the power 2. So we get 550.442 divided by 10 to the power 2 bar. Okay, so we get the answer. Brake mean effective pressure equal to 5.5 bar. Okay, this will be the second answer. Okay, now next question is BSFC. Okay, BSFC means brake specific fuel consumption. Okay, so now we know the value of heat addition is equal to, we can write here heat addition equal to CV into m dot f. Okay, now CV is equal to, CV is given the question 45,000 kilojoule per kg here. Okay, so we can write here 45,000 into m dot f. M dot, now in the test is given that test is running for 10 minutes. Okay, and during this 10 minutes mass flow of air is okay. One data we have not written here. It is given that mass of air is 5 kg. 5 kg. Okay. During 10 minutes, 5 kg of mass of fuel is consumed. Okay. So we can find the mass flow rate. Mass flow rate is equal to mass by time. Okay. So it will be equal to 5 by 10. Okay. 5 by 10. But 5 by 10 in kilogram per minute. We have to convert this in kilogram per second. So we can multiply here by 60. 5 by 10 into 60. Okay. If you calculate this value, you will find the value of heat addition. It will come equal to here actually here we are calculating third question is BSFC. Okay, brake specific fuel consumption. So we know the formula. Okay. Okay. As I said that, okay, I told you that m dot f, mass per unit of fuel should be equal to 5 kg of fuel is consumed in 10 minutes, so it will be equal to 10 into 60 kilogram per second. Now BSFC is equal to m dot f, okay, it is in kilogram per minute. M dot f divided by brake power. Okay, but this m dot f in BSFC, this m dot f is should be in kilogram per hour. So this 5 by 10 kilogram per minute should be changed in kilogram per hour. So we have to multiply here by 60 to convert this in kilogram per hour. So BSFC is equal to 5 into 60 by 10 divided by what is the brake power? Brake power is 124.4. 124.4. Now we get the answer of BSFC is equal to, it will come equal to 0.241. Okay, 0.241. 0.241 kilogram per kilowatt hour. 0.241 kilogram per kilowatt hour. Okay. Now next part is BSAC, brake specific air consumption. Okay. Brake specific air consumption. So I am using this value. Here I am getting some portion. The third part is BSAC. Okay, brake specific air. So BSAC should be equal to mass flow rate of air. Now it is air consumption. So in place of mass flow rate of fuel, we have to keep here mass flow rate of air. You have to brake power. Okay. You have to brake power. So mass flow rate of air is also given in the question. Mass flow rate of air is equal to 10 kilogram per minute. Again, we have to convert this kilogram per minute into kilogram per hour. So we have to multiply here by 60. Okay, so it will come equal to 10 into 60 divided by brake power is equal to 124.4. 124.4. So we get the answer is equal to BSAC equal to, it will come equal to 4.823. 4.823 kilogram per kilowatt hour. Okay. Now the next part is brake thermal efficiency. Next part is brake thermal efficiency. Brake thermal efficiency. So again I am taking this. Now we have to calculate the heat addition. For brake thermal efficiency, we need to calculate the heat addition. Okay. Next is eta Vt. So we know heat addition equal to calorific value into mass flow rate of fuel. Calorific value is given in the question 45,000 into mass flow rate of fuel is given in the question. Mass flow rate is equal to, mass flow rate of fuel is given 5 kg of fuel for 10 minutes. We have calculated this value. So it will come equal to 5 by 10. But it is in kilogram per minute. Here for heat addition we have to calculate this in kilogram per second. So we have to divide it by 60. 5 by 10 into 60. So we get the value of heat addition in kilogram per second. Kilojoule per second. So it will come equal to 375. 375 kilowatt. Okay. Now we can calculate here brake thermal efficiency eta is equal to brake power divided by heat addition. Put the value of brake power. Brake power is equal to 124.4. 124.4 divided by heat addition. Heat addition we have calculated 375. 375. So we get the value answer here. It will come equal to 33.17%. 33.17%. Okay. So in this way we can calculate the brake thermal efficiency also. Next is next question. Ask the question. Next question is last question is air fuel ratio. Air fuel ratio. This is very easy. Air fuel ratio we will calculate. Air fuel ratio is equal to mass flow rate of air divided by mass flow rate of fuel. It is given the question. So mass flow rate of air is 10 kg per minute. Put the value 10 kg per minute. Divided by mass flow rate of fuel is 5 by 10 kg per minute. 5 by 10 kg per minute. Okay. So it will come equal to 20. Air fuel ratio is equal to 20. Okay. So these things are asked in this question. Okay. So this is all. This is all for today. This is all for the. This is all for the performance parameter question. Okay. And then many more questions are there. You can solve it by yourself. Okay. So now we are moving for the next topic. Okay. Next topic is testing of IC engine. Next topic is testing of IC engine. Testing of IC engine. To calculate the performance parameter, testing of IC engine is conducted. Okay. So there are different types of testing for IC engine. Okay. Different type of testing. Like some names I am providing here. Like first is Morse key test. Okay. Morse key test. Morse key test. Second is motoring test. Okay, motoring test. Motoring test. Okay, third is William line test. Okay, so these are some important method of testing of IC engine. Okay, so first we will start with Morse key test. What is Morse key test? I will explain here. Okay. So in Morse key test, if there is an engine, let us assume there is 4-cylinder engine. Okay, 4 cylinders are there. 4 cylinders are there. Four cylinders are there. Okay. Now these 4 cylinders have their piston. Okay. And all these 4 cylinders, their pistons are connected by crankshaft. So we get the power from all these cylinders on the crankshaft. Okay. This is the common crankshaft. So we will get the power on this crankshaft from all these cylinders. Okay. So how much to calculate how much power we are getting? We connect this crankshaft with a dynamometer. We connect this crankshaft with a dynamometer. And when this engine runs, this dynamometer shows how much power is generated from the crankshaft. Okay. Now, assume this is auto cycle. So for in all this cylinders there is a spark plug. There will be a spark plug. Okay. There will be a spark plug here. There will be a spark plug here. And there will be a spark plug here also. Okay. Now we are getting initially they are getting power from the all the cylinders, cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, from all four cylinders they are getting the power of the crankshaft, and this power is calculated by the dynamometer. Okay, we so from the reading of the dynamometer we will find the power of all the cylinders. Okay, let us assume we are getting the indicated power by one cylinder, that is I. Okay, by one cylinder indicated power is I. So total power should be equal to 4I because 4 cylinder is there. So we will get the total power is equal to 4I from the all four cylinders. 1, 2, 3, 4. I, and I. This is indicated power. Okay. So we will get the indicated power from all the four cylinders, that is 4I. Which should be equal to, now we are getting the indicated power from all the four cylinders, so we will get the braking power, that is on the reading of the dynamometer from all the four cylinders. Okay. So if from one cylinder we get the brake power equal to B, so from all the four cylinders it will be equal to 4B. So 4I should be equal to 4B, but this brake power should be less than 4 indicated power. Okay, because there are some friction losses are there. Okay, so this 4I should be equal to 4B plus 4F. Now why we are written here 4F? Because also frictional losses are from all these cylinders, not only from one cylinder. If from one cylinder frictional loss is F, then from all the four cylinders frictional loss would be 4F. So we will get this equation 4I is equal to 4B plus 4F. Now what we need to do? Now here, now when we start the test, what we do? Now we are getting the power from all the four cylinders. What we do? We stop the sparking of the first cylinder. Okay, we stop the sparking of the fourth cylinder. We will stop the sparking of the first cylinder. Okay. When the sparking stops here, then we cannot get power from this cylinder. Okay. When sparking stops here, then we will not get power from this first cylinder. Now in this case, we will get power from only three cylinders, cylinder 2, 3 and 4. Okay. This cylinder 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So now in this case, we will get power from the only three cylinders. Let us assume this power is in the first stage. In the first stage, power is 3B1. Okay. Okay. Power we are getting on the. Okay. Now on the crankshaft we can only calculate the brake power. You know na. Indicate power we get on the piston, but the brake power we get on the crankshaft. So we are measuring the power of the crankshaft by dynamometer. So we will get the reading of only brake power. Okay. So dynamometer shows power from three cylinders only. So in the first stage we will get power from the three cylinders. One cylinder stops working. So let us assume the first reading is 3B1. Three cylinders brake power 3B1 first stage. Okay. Now in the second case what we'll do? Now we start the sparking in the first cylinder, but we stop the sparking in the second cylinder. Okay. Now the sparking starts in the first cylinder, in the third cylinder and the fourth cylinder, but sparking in the second cylinder stops. Again we will get power from the three cylinders only. Okay. And that reading will come on the dynamometer. Okay. So this is the second test. Let us do in the second test. In the second test we are getting reading 3B2. Okay. Now in the next test, again we start the sparking of the second cylinder, but we stop the sparking of the third cylinder. Now again we are getting the power from cylinders 1, 2 and 4. First cylinder is sparking, first cylinder stop. So we will not get power from the third cylinder. So we are getting power from the three cylinders 1, 2 and 4. So in the third test, again we will get the reading on the dynamometer for those three cylinders. So in the third test, we will get power 3B3. Okay. Now we will stop the sparking of the last cylinder, that is fourth cylinder. So we will stop the sparking of every cylinder one by one, and we will get the power from the all three cylinders, other three cylinders, and we will note the reading from the power of the other three cylinders. Okay. So when we stop the spark in the fourth cylinder, we will get power from the cylinder 1, 2 and 3. So in the fourth test, let us say we will get the power equal to 3B4. So these are the four readings from all the four tests. So what they are doing here, we are stopping the power from every cylinder one by one, and we are calculating the power from other cylinders, other three remaining cylinders. Okay. So in every test we are getting the power 3B1, 3B2, 3B3 and 3B4. Now what we do, we will calculate the average power from the three cylinders. Average power from any three cylinder. Okay, how can we calculate that? So we take the average of all four readings. We will take the average of all four readings. Okay, so here we get the average power from only three cylinder, that will be equal to 3B. Okay, so we get the average from all four readings. So it will go to 3B1 plus 3B2 plus 3B3 plus 3B4 divided by 4. 4 readings are there, so we will divide by 4. So from this reading we can calculate the average brake power of three cylinder, that is equal to 3B. Okay. Now as we are getting power from only three cylinders here, we are getting braking power from only three cylinders, so we will get the indicate from also from three cylinders. So if you want to make the equation, then it will become for three cylinder, it will become 3I equal to 3B power brake power from three cylinders. Okay, plus now here we will not write here 3F. Okay, because when we stop the sparking of any one cylinder and other three cylinders are working, we are getting power from other cylinders. But we have just stopped the sparking, we are not getting power here. But this crankshaft is moving, huh? So this piston will also move. This crank connecting rod will also move. So there will be friction. We are not getting power from the cylinder, but friction is here. Friction remains here because movement is there. What is happening here? We just not getting the power. Okay, but friction is there. So we are considering the three cylinders for indicate power or brake power, but we have to consider all these four cylinders for frictional power. Okay, because friction is always there. Okay, so we will write here 3I equal to 3B, but in place of 3F we will write 4F. Okay, because friction is always present there. Okay, we are getting power or not, it doesn't matter, but friction is always there. Okay. Now let us assume this is equation number 1, this is equation number 2. So subtract equation number 2 from equation number 1. Equation number 1 minus equation number 2. So when we subtract, we will get minus. This 4f cancel out, and 4I minus 3I is equal to I, equal to, we get here 4b minus 3b. Now we just not write that 4b minus 3b equal to b, because 4b is different reading as 3b is different reading. Value of 4b we have to calculate when all the four cylinders are working. We get the reading on dynamometer, and value of 3b we are calculating by taking the average of these all the four readings. Okay, so both these values are different values. Okay, we will get this value in the question, and we get solve the question. We will get different values. Okay, so here we got the equation I equal to indicate power of one cylinder equal to 4b minus 3b. This is the indicate power of one cylinder. If you want to calculate the indicate power of four cylinder, so total indicate power, total IP is equal to, it should be 4 into I. So 4 into I, this should be equal to 4 into 4b minus 3b. So in this way we can calculate the total indicate power of the engine. Okay. So this is the first testing method and more speed test. With the help of this test, we have seen that we can easily calculate the indicate power from all the cylinders in the engine. Okay, brake power we can calculate easily by using the dynamometer, but indicate power we cannot calculate by any dynamometer. Okay, because it is on piston. So by this test we can calculate the indicate power from the all cylinder of the engine. Okay, so this is the formula. We have to remember this formula because when we solve the question, we have to use this formula. This formula and this formula, 3b equal to 3b1. All this formula we need to use when we solve the question. Okay. So this is all about today. In the next class, we will discuss some numerical question on this mode 3 test. Okay. Thank you.